Hello, my name is Jintare and I want to welcome you to Reinvent Your Body series. How to create your best health, stop yo-yo dieting and lose weight for good. Today's my guest is Evonne Britton. She is integrated nutrition health coach. Hello, Yvonne. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Jintari. Thank you so much for having me. Delighted to be here.
Thank you. It's my honor having you here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do?
So I work as what I call a holistic health coach. And there's a lot of personal development in there. I help people who have a variety of different things they want to do. Sometimes it's increase their energy. Sometimes, a lot of the times, it's to recover from chronic health issues. So I work with them on many different topics. I don't think it's only just about the food we eat. So I tend to cover diet. It's a combination of diet, exercise, emotional, even spiritual things. It's a combination of all these things together.
All right, nice. Can you tell us a little bit about your personal health issues?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a story because it goes on for a long time, but I started to have noticeable issues when I was about 19. So I started to have migraines. I had digestive issues, and the digestive issues I kind of like took for being normal. I just thought that was normal, and actually it wasn't. And as time went on, it didn't ever stop me doing anything. But as time went on, the migraines got worse. It developed into as well as I got on top insomnia, quite bad, and I ended up having fertility issues. So it was a whole combination, and everything was just underlying. Nothing was bad enough that it stopped me from doing my job, or I travelled a lot for my work. But it took me a long time, and I was going to all the doctors trying to find out what was wrong, and there was basically everything was coming back normal. The turning point for me didn't come until probably about 5 years ago, where I found something that actually worked for me, and I found something that worked. I had tried everything and anything. So I found something that worked, and it was such a revelation to one day. I remember the day standing in my kitchen saying, I haven't had a migraine, and oh my God, I'm energetic, and I'm sleeping. It's like it took me a while to become aware of it, but I got so excited. I went out to study to be a health coach. Now I still have a job in the corporate world, and I have had that for over 20 years now. But I'm very passionate about it, and I'm very dedicated to helping people, because I just felt like it was like, oh my God, there's a possibility that this doesn't have to be this way. So it doesn't have to be chronic health issues, but that's definitely where I came from.
So after all these years, like struggling, suffering from the migraines and all, and some of the migraines can be really, really bad, as we all know that. It must be like really hard. It's kind of like emotional journey, like you're suffering from the migraines, right? It's like there is some days where you're not capable even to work, or even to go in the daylight, because sometimes migraines can be that strong. Tell us about this, all like your emotional journey through all that.
I think there's part of it where it becomes a bit normal for you, and you just accept it, and I think that's the dangerous point. I never gave up looking for solutions, but I did try. I couldn't take any over-the-counter painkillers or anything, because they just made me vomit. But I tried everything, but you miss out on things. You miss out on, because for me it was like, I remember at one point it was like I would have lunch, and then after lunch it would come on, and that would be it until the next day. So you miss out on days. And as I got older, and then as I had my daughter, I've had days when I haven't been able to go to work, but it was really funny that for years it only happened on weekends. So it didn't stop me. It didn't stop me from working, but you know, there's a lot you can take away from that. But as I got older, it started to happen more frequently. And then when I had my daughter, I think I was 8 weeks pregnant when I had my last migraine, and then I had the next one when she was 4 months old. So having a baby and having the migraine, that was just like
Overwhelming.
yeah. And it's a very hard thing to do. You can, if you're lucky and you find a tablet and that works for you and you can take something, it takes it away. But there's the pain and there's what you miss out on as well.
So how did you start making the changes? What was like your...
So I'm a trier, so I would always try something. You know, like I went to all the doctors, there was nothing there. I would try all the weird and wonderful stuff. So, and my mind was open to everything, anything and everything. Like someone said it, I was like, I'll try it, I'll try it. And I had more things that all came together. I didn't realize until afterwards there was constipation. You know, it was a whole package. It wasn't just the migraines. I was trying to get rid of migraines. But what I was listening to a radio show one night, and the man that was speaking about what his kind of like methodology or the protocols that he suggests with his patients, and it just felt right. So I didn't implement everything that he said because it was too much for me, and I knew it. I was not, you know, one of the main things was to juice celery. It took me a year of like listening to his shows and talking to other people, and I knew it worked, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So I started off by supplementing with zinc, getting some vitamin C in my life, taking out some foods, and the taking away some foods where for some people I think it depends where you are, because if you are not well and you can't get out of bed, then you'll do anything. No, but I was functioning, but just not at, you know, like if there was a line here, I was functioning just below type thing, getting away with it. So the giving up of some of the foods that really do trigger my migraines and other issues, for me, even though I had the migraines, it was still difficult. So it was gradual. But like there's nothing like a migraine or something like that to motivate you to change, you know. So I introduced more fruits, more vegetables. I had tried fruits like to really up my intake of fruit in the past, but unless it's kind of like leveled with like leafy greens or, you know, something else, just fruit by itself hadn't helped me in the past. So I just started to make gradual changes. After about a year is when I started to juice the celery, which I was like, oh my God, I just can't bring myself to do that, but I did. And drink lemon water, and that just kicked it up to the next level for me. That's when I really started to feel all these things, but at the same time I was like, oh my God, like it gives you a sense of control, not in a bad way, but like that you have control over your health, you know.
So to basically, like you change your eating habits, and the eating habits what you had before, what you were eating before, wasn't involve a lot of vegetables and...
Well, it did, but and I was already what I thought was healthy. A diet, you know, everyone used to say, I don't know how you get sick, you're the healthiest person I know. But what I was where I would eat probably a lot of vegetables and not as much fruit, but I was having a lot of eggs in my diet, which for me were like, and for many people, you know, you classify them as being very healthy. I hadn't given up gluten. I was still drinking coffee. Dairy, I knew didn't agree with me, so I was already reducing the dairy. But when I began to take those, so it was what I added in and it's what I took out. So when I started to take out eggs, dairy, gluten, and I have to say gluten is a struggle for me. It's something that is and I can do it for certain periods of time. But I can't say I haven't had any gluten in the past 5 years, because I have. And I have a tendency, when I do feel a lot better, I'll think, oh, it's just a little bit of maybe, I don't know, growing up in the UK, I love my toast. So I just wanted to feel better, but I don't want a really restrictive life either, The separate eggs and dairy are pretty much a no for me, A tiny bit of dairy every now and then. Gluten is something I would genuinely like to be able to tolerate better. Not like eating bowls of pasta and stuff, but I would like to tolerate it better. So when I started to take away things and add other things in to replace them, that's when I started to feel better.
Right. So basically, it just shows how diet is so important. Literally, what we eat. We need all the natural things. We need the vitamin C's and B's and everything. What comes literally from the actually fruit or vegetable or the salads and so on. Did you were you ever overweight in your life?
I think when I started to make these changes, I don't know if I would classify myself as being, I wasn't obese or anything, but since then I probably lost, I would say, at least 10, 12 kilos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And like I have a small frame, I'm a small person, so it's not, I was looking at photos the other day when my daughter was like 3 or something, and I was like, you can really, my face was full, my arms, so I never had an objective to lose weight.
It was just regarding your health. It just naturally, so it just shows like cutting off like the gluten, the dairy. It's just literally all the sort of inflammation, maybe even kind of.
It causes a lot of inflammation. I think when you take away these things and put in fruits and vegetables, and everyone's different, like there could be people that tolerate these things better, but I think especially if you've got any kind of fertility things going on, menstrual issues, eggs are a big thing to at least try and see if they make a difference. It was the taking away and the replacing that really and the movement.
Did you gain any more, like, did your energy levels change or that? Did you gain more energy, like?
Yeah, definitely. I was like dragging myself about, and I had a daughter that was still waking up during the night, I mean, I was using coffee to get through the day.
Yeah.
That's how I was surviving. So my energy levels definitely changed, definitely more energy, just more clarity. I remember that day just thinking, I can think better. My job's quite demanding, and I had brain fog. Oh God, I had terrible brain fog. I think my daughter was about 2, really sleepless nights and trying to work. I remember like just thinking, I don't know what people are talking about. And then like fast forward to when I'd made those changes, I was on the ball, I could tell at work mentally, I was just really on the ball. Wow. Made a huge step. I mean, brain fog is something I didn't even realize I had.
Yeah, I get it. Same happened to me as well. Yeah, like like I never heard of that before. It's all of a sudden like, but yeah, it's actually my brain is more sharp. I've got more energy, and I just could go. I don't need to take like a naps during the day. I could go through the whole day without even like having a coffee in the morning, like 1 cup of coffee, and last me in, I could go through the day without any more adding extra coffees. Whereas before it was like, oh, I feel tired, so I will have the coffee and add this and add that. Like before, it's like 3-4 cups of coffee per day. And then you reduce, yes. And when you reduce to 1 cup, and that's kind of morning coffee, and you go through the whole day full of energy without having a nap, not like you don't feel anymore. Like you need to take, you're exhausted, or you're a little bit feeling low. It's actually, it's very like, it's life-changing, and you feel great. You want to do things. What would you suggest for people because I always said it's obviously starts to do with the mindset. There is a lot of people out there that they are slightly overweight or they're obese, and they know that. Like they go to the doctors and they say, right, you already like overweight, you in that kind of, you know, the level where it's like you overweight. But if you're gonna carry on like this, it's gonna get worse. You know, you're gonna get like, we're gonna put you like on high blood pressure. You know, you're gonna get on a tablets or cholesterol level tablet. You know, type 2 diabetes and so on. You know, but they still, they know it. They've been told by doctor, but they still like, you know, kind of not really taking actions.
Yeah.
And this is like for them, as I always say, is always tomorrow, because like tomorrow I will start, but that tomorrow comes and it's still like nothing happening, but they still, it's like it's always tomorrow. What would you suggest to these kind of people, like what to do, where to start, how to start?
I think that you, wherever you are, you have to accept where you are. You have to accept how you got there. You have to accept responsibility for how you got there as well. And I think it's not an easy thing to do, because I think we all have the experience of having that inner voice, you know, that inner dialogue, and it can be quite nasty sometimes and a bit of a bully, you know.
Yeah.
And when the doctor's saying that to you, you already know it, and you could be even, you know, making yourself feel worse. I think you need to accept, find peace in whatever you've got. I think you can use gratitude for that moment to look around and see what you do have. I think there's that motivation that makes you take that step for me is fascinating. I think everyone's different. Everyone has a different version of it, and I love to hear. I'm a bit addicted to like transformation stories, because I love to understand what that, you know, there's a second of time where you get to make a choice and you can go that way or that way,
Yeah.
and you choose to.
Yes.
For me, that like fills me up. I love it. You've got to kind of like find where that is. You've either got to be really as fed up as, you know, you just got to say enough is enough and move on. But I think also when you do it, if you do it, you really need to be, it comes from a place of like love for yourself, which sounds really like mushy, but it's all about doing it for you, because no one else is going to do it the doctor can't do it for you.
They could tell you, but you know, you have to put the work in there, you have to put the effort in there. And
yeah,
where I say as well, like as much as like everyone, like you reach the point where you had enough in your life. That was happened to me, when it's like you're trying all these different diets, and you have to eat this, don't eat that, but no one tells you actually deeper, like there is why I have to eat this, why I can't eat this. And this is, for me, was my trigger, where I literally got fed up of just picking a recipes, where I wanted to figure out more. Why I can't eat this, what is in there that, you know, can't go in my body, or what they're going to do to my body, and why this is good, why, you know, and what the fat does for you, what the protein does for you, and the water, and everything. And this is where it's kind of, I decided to change my lifestyle, because I wanted to know more beyond the recipes and beyond that. So that was my choice. So that's why I always say you have to be in the right frame of mind. Then you're gonna make, you know, drastic choices in your life. But there will be obstacles. There will be like things that doesn't work, but you need to, I think, try yourself and figure it out. Because sometimes what works for one person, it doesn't work for another one. You know, you need to find what is good for you. But sometimes it takes time, and sometimes not. Sometimes very quickly you know, just you can figure it out. But it's just to stay sustainable and just carry on, and then move that, you know, forward.
But you've got to listen to your body too. You've got to, if you're really overweight, there's, you know, there's things you can change. There's definitely, and it's I don't judge someone for like eating bad. You know, everybody is at where they're at, and you know, if that's the point in your life where like you just need to comfort you, and it's a bag of chips or something that makes you feel good at that point in time, like you don't have to be there forever, but this, if you, I mean, you really need to think about your life until when am I going to do this, you know, what do I want for myself, and know that you deserve better, and that it's possible. So I think these transformation stories, especially when it comes to weight loss, if you see these people who were obese, and then you see what they've done, you know it's possible, because I think a lot of people think, oh, that's just for someone else, because that won't work for me, because
Take pictures.
they're fake news.
Yeah.
But there are people that do it, and it's good to know. I know this group that's called Fit Mum and Fit Dad, and it's for mums that are like super busy, and how to eat healthier and get exercise in your life. It's really an excellent program, and they make you. I didn't do it because I don't follow the diet side. I just follow the exercise. They make you like take pictures at the beginning, like in your underwear or in a bikini or something. And the whole reason that they suggest you do it, no? When you see the transformations, it's like mind blowing, and it's not even, it's what the women say, and men as well. But the women say, "I got my life back." Like,
Yeah.
I can get these genes. It's not just about like getting into the genes, it's the feeling that comes with, you know, I've got more energy, I can be there for my kids.
Is the feeling, is the physical activity, basically how physically you're active, you know, is starting like, you know, how long you can walk a mile, you know, and some people, they can't do it actually. And you think, oh my God, what do you mean you can't walk a mile, you know, without taking a breath, you know, and having a stop, you know, or sitting down? But it's actually reality, and there's a lot of people out there. And when but it's clearly when they have sort of a goal, they set themselves a goal and they could achieve. Because sometimes I think when people wanted to lose 2 or 5 pounds, the goal is not big enough, you know, for them, because they think, oh, 5 pounds, I just could go for a run and I will lose 2. So it's kind of, the goal is not big enough. But when they set those kind of drastic goals, they have that image in their head and they're just going for it. They've got that sort of goal and they're going for it. And that's what I think the obstacles, when they come up, obviously they will, but they overcome those obstacles. It's happening, yes, that's fine. It just maybe for 1 week that I stay the same. Like I didn't lose weight, I didn't gain weight, but next week, you know, I will make some adjustments or whatever to my diet, to my exercise, and I will carry on going. And that's where I think kind of the massive goals are achieved, when they to do with the goal and with their health.
Yeah, but feeling better about themselves. Yeah.
So before we're gonna wrap up, is there anything else on your mind you would like to tell us, to our listeners?
Yeah, just really like briefly, I think there's a lot of things you can do to get, like, practical things you can do to get started. And I think 2 of the biggest things or the first thing I would say is make sure you're hydrated. So drink a lot of water. If you can drink water with lemon in it, that's going to hydrate you a lot more. Coconut water. I drink a lot of water with lemon and raw honey and ginger. So that's kind of like doing multiple things at the same time. And I drink a lot of that during the day. Cucumber juice. Things that are just going to hydrate you more because you think better. And the other, I mean, there's a long list now, but the other thing that I think is fundamental to making good choices, whether you want to lose weight or whether you got chronic issues or whatever you want to do, is make sure you make your sleep a priority. Because if you don't, like, your day starts the night before. And I've been there. If I could give advice to people, it's like somebody like me who tends to like, you know, feel better and like, okay, let's go. If you sleep better, you make better choices. And I read that was like a scientific research that they did the other day. You will make better choices. You are more calm. You are more grounded. You'll think better about what you need. And I think, and I know that for someone who has insomnia, I used to get like, what do you think? I'm not making it a priority. Of course it's a priority. I can't sleep, but there's lots of things you can do. There's supplements you can take. There's times of the day a certain time that if you go to bed, you'll sleep. So if you make that a priority, I just think everything else is a lot easier. And it's, in general, with anything, it's about choosing to make yourself a priority.
Definitely. That was wonderful. Also, can you tell our listeners where they can find you?
Yeah, so I have a web page which is www.evonnebritton.com, and Evonne is Evonne and Britton is Britton. I'm on Facebook. My Facebook page is called Believing Eyes, and on Instagram my handle is my name backwards, so it's Britton Evonne, the other way around.
Amazing. Well, thank you for coming on the show. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
And to the listeners, thank you for listening, and I see you on the next episode. Have a good day.